Freedom! Welcome back and thank you for continuing to view. Once again, I'm Chiropractor Howie. Seeing as it's National Chiropractic Month, I decided to give my consultation. Seeing as many people have asked me about it on multiple occasions. Because of time restraints, I will not be following the same format that I usually use. In the last episode, I mentioned that there were 5 parts of the consultation. In actuality, there are 6 steps. I combined the first 2 and just called them the intro. I will name the 6 parts and then just jump into the consultation. The parts are: part 1 is the opening, which is basically welcoming the people into the office. Second part is the pre-frame, basically finding out what brings them into the office, and then a reframe about what this office is and what it has to offer. And part 3 is the body, which is basically the chiropractic story. And part 4 is the pre-close, the price and my recommendations. And part 5 is the close, basically explain how the body works. And finally, part 6 would be the application, the adjustment and further education. All right, so let's just jump in. So basically the opening, welcome to the office. I'm Chiropractor Howie. Can I get you water or anything like that? And just have a seat. This could be your longest visit after today, in and out, usually less than 5 minutes. Basically what brings you into the office today? And after typically they give you their complaints and what have you, I'll ask, okay, so what have you done for this? And after they go through everything, so what is your understanding of chiropractic? And if they had been to a chiropractor before, I ask them, basically how that went, how often they went, and just to get an outline of and figure out, the basis of what their chiropractic experience is. And then I ask them, everyone that comes in, I've been doing this for over the last 5 years or more, so what is your understanding of chiropractic? And I'm just going to let you know, it's basically pathetic at best. Most people really don't have any understanding. Most people are just coming in because their friend told them to come in or whatever, all right? But basically they don't have any real understanding. So when we understand that they don't have an understanding, I go on and say, well, just to be honest with you, majority of the people come in my office don't really have a clear understanding of chiropractic is. Let's just be honest. Majority of my profession, they don't work for you, they don't work for me, they don't work for anyone but insurance companies, and more specifically, medical insurance companies. And all medical insurance companies are going to pay for is crisis intervention, medical intervention. So what do you think most of my profession is offering in their office? Medical intervention, right? Not chiropractic. So that's why most people don't understand when they first come in here. And in fact, I didn't really have a clear understanding of what chiropractic was. And I even came from a large chiropractic family, went to countless chiropractors, and none of those chiropractors ever shared the real truth with me. So much so that I was a little skeptical about what I was being taught while I was going through the chiropractic curriculum. So I put myself to the test, and now I share those truths with the people who come in my office. However you want to do this, though, is completely up to you. Life is full of choices. We know there's good choices and poor choices in life. And those choices over time become our habits. And those habits become who we are, the good stuff and the bad stuff. So I'm offering you is the opportunity, the choice to receive the same care that I receive, my family receives, and all the chiropractors and their families receiving. Not as a treatment, as a lifestyle. Every chiropractor I know gets their own spine checked 1 to 3 times a week, checking their own family 2 to 5 times a week, and been checking their kids since the day their kids were born. And I'd have to say, those chiropractors that are doing that today, we're not doing that before going to chiropractic school, and we're educated on the importance and value of doing chiropractic on a regular basis. And unfortunately, the majority of those chiropractors aren't even providing people with that same kind of care that they and their families receive week after week, year after year, decade after decade. Now, before the insurance companies got involved, chiropractic was affordable. People could utilize on a regular basis because they're only charging $3 to $5 a visit. Then the insurance companies stepped in, and the chiropractors were like, wait a minute, you give us $50 plus for the same thing we're getting $5 for? Well, guess what our new fees are? Well, unfortunately, when my profession started charging medical fees for something that wasn't medicine, chiropractic became medicine. It became a treatment or a therapy, so that the fees that most chiropractors are charging today, that's only one can use it for. Now, for myself, waiting till you're hurt to go see a chiropractor is much like waiting till your teeth hurt before you decide to start brushing your teeth, or even waiting until your body was in a state of malnutrition before you decide to start feeding it food, or even waiting until the oil light came on your vehicle before you decide to change the oil. Now, obviously, by the time any of those events take place, damage is already starting to occur. Our bodies are no exception to that rule. Think about this. If there's enough pressure in your spine that has gotten you here today, what's it doing to the other things inside your body you cannot feel? Because it's not only affecting those things you can feel, it's also affecting the many, many, many things inside you you cannot feel. As a chiropractor, I'm not working with what's wrong with you. I'm actually working with what's right in you. We all have a natural healing ability within us. What I'm doing is removing that nerve interference to allow that healing to be expressed, to allow your body to function and thrive the way it was intended to. I personally do not believe that we are designed to be as unhealthy and as sick as most of the human race is. And I've seen the difference in the people that do chiropractic on a continual basis. Myself, my family, my friends, and obviously the people that come through my door. So what I want to do today is I want to share a little history about the profession, a little bit about myself, my recommendations, and then explain how the body works. Now, if you have any questions throughout this, obviously feel free to ask. Now, this could be your longest visit. After today, in and out, usually less than 5 minutes. Now, with that being said, there's a good chance that people will be flowing out here while we're talking. When that happens, I'm going to go ahead and take care of them and come back and take care of you. I don't want you to think I'm being rude or anything. After today, you're going to have the same obligation in and out just like them. And hopefully when we're done with all this, you have a better understanding when I say chiropractic is not about your pain, it's about your life. So that's part one. Now, if the people had flown in, came in, I'm going to go ahead and take care of them and come back. After I clear out the room, I'm going to come back and continue the consultation. So when I come back, what questions you have for me? Okay, great. And if they have questions, obviously I answer them. Then I'll move into the second part, which is basically the body of the consultation. Just so you know, chiropractic had nothing to do with neck or back pain when it first started out. It started out as a cure for deafness, believe it or not. The first chiropractor taught his janitor to let him push on some bones in his back. Now, after doing that a few different times, the man's hearing was restored after 17 years being deaf. So, of course, that event made the papers, and, of course, all the deaf people that read that, they came to this man to try to get their deafness cured as well. Now, I'm going to let you know, at that time, there was not another recorded case where another deaf person's hearing was restored. We'll tell you since then, yes, deafness has been cured, blindness, tumors, immune deficiencies. The list goes on and on, the miracles of chiropractic. Well, those miracles were always contained inside of those people. What happened is when the nerve interference was removed, the brain was able to communicate to the body, and the body was able to function and heal itself. So I say those people experienced those miracles. If they've been under care their whole lives, they probably would never even came down with those conditions because their bodies would always been functioning the way they were intended to. Now, for myself, the biggest miracles that happen in my office are not the things that go away. They're actually the things that never take place, if that makes any sense. Okay, great. Now, back to my story. At that time, though, like I said, there was not another recorded case where another deaf person's hearing is restored. Well, they did notice that people with stomach problems, heart problems, and other ailments were getting better. So they were like, hey, not only did we find the cure for deafness, we found the cure for all disease. Now, that started in the early 1900s, and chiropractic continued to be a cure for all disease until the insurance companies stepped in and started paying for neck and back pain. I'm going to tell you what, I didn't go to school 8 years of my life and dedicate my life to becoming a chiropractor to only graduate and then have some third party that doesn't understand nor care what I do tell me what I can and can't do in my office to get paid. Doesn't make any sense to me. As far as I'm concerned, when my profession started accepting medical insurance, they sold out their integrity, their principles, and the foundation of the profession just based on money. Now, if those insurance companies decide to start paying for something different tomorrow or even stop paying for chiropractic tomorrow, my profession would change overnight. Because the majority of my profession are not following truth, they're following dollar signs. Your best insurance companies pay for maybe 30 visits a year. I'm willing to bet that most chiropractors, their families, and even their staff are getting checked more than 30 times in a year. To be honest with you, if I had the opportunity, I'd get my own spine checked 30 times in 1 month. Would have never guessed any human being would ever need that, and at one time, I would have thought it was ridiculous for someone to receive that kind of care in a month's time. Now, that was obviously before I understood the true value and necessity of doing chiropractic on a continual basis. And I even came from a large chiropractic family. As a 28th graduate from my family, used to only go see my uncle who was a chiropractor when I thought I really needed it, when I was hurting bad enough because he never shared this truth with me. When I was in my 20s, I was miserable. I worked factory jobs. I thought the everyday aches and pains that I was dealing with, just something I was going to have to live with the rest of my life. Like a lot of people, I thought, well, hey, I'm getting older, I'm supposed to hurt, or I stressed my body out, now I'm just paying the price. Well, I learned a different truth while I was going through chiropractic school. I learned that everyday life and everyday stresses, be it those chemical, physical, mental stresses of every day, are causing the bones of our spine to misalign. So I reasoned out, hey, if the bones are misaligned every day, maybe it's something we should be doing every day. Much like brushing our teeth. Over 300 years ago, people didn't understand that brushing their teeth every day was important. Now we all pretty much do it without thinking about it because it makes sense. Hopefully someday chiropractic will make so much sense that everyone will be doing this on a lifetime basis as well. Now I'm going to tell you though, when I first heard that idea that the bones misalign every day, I didn't buy into it. There was a time in my life that I thought if you got your spine checked more than every other week, that was too much. So I'm not somebody that believes everything I hear, everything I read. So I started putting myself to the test to see if there's any truth to this idea that the bones misalign every day. Now what I discovered is when I started getting my own spine checked at least twice a week for over the last 20 years, not only has it improved how I feel, it's also improved my thinking, my coordination, my attitude, my immune system. Basically everything about me has improved since I've been under consistent care. Now none of that happened when I was just going for neck and back pain relief. I'm 52 years old now. No way I would trade my 52-year-old body in for my 20-year-old body any single day. And I truly believe if I continue to do things I do in my life, I'd rather have my 70-year-old body over my 20-year-old body. We were designed to live to be at least 140 years old. So that would make 70 only middle age. Now, a lot of people in today's society are not even making it to middle age. So I'd say we're doing something wrong, and one of those things I feel that people are missing out on is regular, consistent chiropractic care. I truly believe it would change the face of the planet if everyone was doing this on a continual basis. Now, I believe that so much that I've based my practice around that concept. I've tried to remove as many barriers as possible so people can do this on a lifetime basis. One, I've tried to make it affordable. Two, I try to make it convenient. After today, there won't be an appointment or anything. You come by anytime I'm open. And then the time that you're here, usually in and out less than 5 minutes. Plus, I work through most people's lunches, and I'm here after most people get off work. Now, if I had to go work like the rest of the chiropractors out there, I'd go back and work factory jobs, because that kind of chiropractic is not what's got me here today. Doing this on a continual basis, what's changed my life, and I've seen it change countless other people's lives as well. All right, so that's the end of the body. Now, if somebody came in, I'd go ahead and take care of them and come back, all right? Now we're going to move into the fee structure and the recommendations, all right? So I'm not going to go through it. I'm just going to kind of outline how I do things. All right, so basically, it's, one person charge this much for one visit, this much for a whole entire month. And that month cover you every day, twice a day, as much you can get in. Now, are you married? Okay, great. So we also have other fee structures that make it more affordable for you. We charge $50 for the visit for both of you. And once again, unlimited care for only $200 for the month. And then we have other fee structures that make it more affordable, longer term that you go. Basically, I reward people for seeing the value of what we're trying to do here, and I pass the savings on to them. And would you happen to have any small children? Okay, great. Well, just so you know, kids 17 and under always include in the fee structure, whether or not you go by the visit, the month, however you do it. I don't see any sense to wait till they're in their 20s and 30s and beyond with some condition before they start getting their own spines checked. No chiropractor's waiting that long for their own kids. Every chiropractor I know starts checking their children minutes after birth. So I just go ahead and include the kids as well. All right? Okay, any questions? Okay, great. Now, as far as the recommendations go, I wouldn't recommend anything differently for yourself and your family than I plan on doing for myself and my family. In an idealistic world, I'd want to see you twice a day for the rest of your life. That would be idealistic. Obviously, not going to be very realistic. To be more realistic, I say the first month, getting here as often as you can, twice a day if possible. Now, that's just the beginning. After that, I'd want to see you at least once a week for the rest of your life. Of course, you can keep on coming in twice a day. I'd be happy to see it. Don't feel like be taking advantage of me. That's what your body needs. It's what I'm willing to provide. Ultimately, the choice is totally up to you however you want to do it. I'm not here to be a mama. Won't be calling you up and be like, hey, where you been? I have a hard enough time running my own life. I'm not here to run your life or anyone else's life. So what I do is I provide the services, make it affordable, logical, and convenient. Then after that, it's up to you whether or not you want to do this or not. I will tell you, though, I take care of everyone walking through my door like I'm going to take care of them the rest of their life. Now, whether or not that happens, not up to me. I learned a long time ago not to be attached to other people's decisions. Just makes my life a whole lot easier and a lot less stressful. Now this would be where I would, after we go through all this, I'm going to write down my recommendations, which is the same recommendations I write to everyone because everyone needs to be under lifetime care, obviously, right? So now I would move on to, if they have any questions or whatever, obviously I'd answer it. Then I'd move on to explain how the body works, okay? This would be the close. In the last video, I already went over that, so we're not going to go ahead and do that again, so just go back to the other video for that at that point. All right, thanks. And now we're going to move into, after they fill out the paperwork and stuff, we're going to move into the adjustment area. All right, so now we're here doing the application of the adjustment, and then we're going to do a little education afterwards. So I'm just going to go through basically what I do. All right, just going to have you lay face down, hands on those brown pads down there. I'm just going to walk through everything with you, just give you an understanding of what we're doing here, all right? So just so you know, I don't force anything, so if anything's too much, you just let me know. The way I look at it, chiropractic is not about crisis care, it's about longevity care. The real benefit to doing this is doing it over a lifetime, just like anything good for you. Eat healthy, exercising, brushing your teeth, whatever. So I fear if the bones don't move today, that's why God made tomorrow. So I just feeling down the spine, getting an assessment of what's going on, and then I'm going to help your body correct these subluxations where I find them. So then after I do that, I go through and I make the adjustment, and then, of course, recheck and everything. and then I have them get up and I have them sit here. Okay, we're just going to be doing the same thing in your neck. So I was in your back. The only difference could be a little louder because it's closer to your ears. Anyways, then after we do the cervical adjustment, I just go through and educate. All right. Now there's a few things that can take place now. You could leave here not really feeling any different. You could leave here going, wow, I feel like $1,000,000. Or you may wake up tomorrow and feel like someone run you over the truck. Now it's not uncommon to be sore after an adjustment. Those bones have been out of alignment for who knows how long, potentially since the day you were born. So your body's got kind of used to the position the bones have been in. Now there's a change taking place to the bones, there's a change taking place to those muscles attached to those bones. Sometimes that change be kind of uncomfortable. Kind of like if you had any physical labor or exercised or ran for a while, you'd expect to be sore afterwards, same kind of thing. Plus right now you have more life from your brain, reaching your body, organs and cells that haven't felt life in a while are starting to wake up and healing's starting to take place. Now sometimes during the healing process when toxins and other things are being removed, it can be kind of uncomfortable. Now all those areas I pushed on, which I call an adjustment, is where nerve interference was taking place. You probably didn't realize you had all those things going on. Your neck alone, there was 4 different areas, which basically everyone I checked first time, almost always 4 things, all right? So anyways, you had 4 things going on in your neck. So just think about this. As those messages been coming down through your neck, those messages been compromised before they get anywhere else in your body. Well, I can guarantee your body's functioning better now. Guarantee every time you leave here, your body's going to be functioning better regardless how you feel. Even if you left here thinking, well, hey, I don't really feel any different. Well, what if that adjustment allowed your immune system to work better, allowed you to fight off some growth inside you didn't even know was there? I'd say it was a pretty good thing, and neither one of us even know if that even happened. All right? And then I'd go into the paperwork and what have you. So that's basically the bottom line of what my consultation looks like. There's a little bit more involved in that. But yeah, I believe that you should be able to give your consultation in the sleep. I know I talked about that last time, but that's how I feel about it. That because this is some serious stuff. What we're doing here, it needs to come off as you know what the hell you're talking about. All right. So that's all we have for this month. Catch us next month. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, apply this stuff to yourself and your practice, and you will have practice freedom.